Check, check, checkity check. The mic is live. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. Went to the me cam. Have fun at the gym. Goodbye. Love you. What's up, everybody? Gonna do some live development today on SoulWars. Let's see. Center and me. Just gonna get set up, making sure all my profiles are working correctly because I'm producing right now through a lot of different things. So I'm going to restream and making sure I'm all set up here. Let's see, YouTube is live. This needs a refresh. Go. Gonna basically turn on all my different feeds right now. Okay, so just checking things out. Looks like I'm live. Very cool. And I will also be checking out the PF page as well. So let me get that squared away. It's kind of neat. I'm using Restream to set up the basically launch in 5 days, live dev, game live dev. Launch in 5 days, and I use Restream to basically go from OBS out to Restream out to several different channels, which is awesome. So exit that, come on back in, and as soon as Sui has a live deal as well, we'll be doing it there as well. Cool beans. Oh, that's a picture of the live stream. Very good. All right, I can move that over here now. They're experiencing an AWS outage, so it could be problematic. But yeah, looking at the roadmap of stuff to do this week, we're on track to do a release later this week, and we'll just get through the roadmap and show you kind of like what's going on here. Roadmap, here it is. Actually gonna move some windows around a bit. Move that there, move that here. This will be my dev window. So a lot of stuff that's been done already is working great. Alpha detected. What's up? What's up, Ed? Good to see you, bro. Let's see if this works. If I go to here, in Restream, I have this one interface that shows me where it's from. Add to block list? No, I don't want to add to block list. So I don't know which channel you're typing on. Can you just tell me, is it my personal X account? I want to try this. Oh, I can't anyway. I can't respond anyway. That's okay. So yeah, a lot of stuff has shipped. A lot of stuff has been in testing. I still need to test this. Player spotlights, reward screens. A lot of this stuff has worked already. So I'm going to move it over into shipped. This is still, let's put us over here. I still need to test this out. Let's just move everything over there to shipped. Because we've shipped a ton of stuff and getting ready for this Thursday's release. There we go. I need to make sure this works still. This is being done as well. Well, we'll check. Last night when I was testing out the battle scenes, I noticed that the players' stats were not coming in correctly. So that's what I wanted to work on today. So this is a little bit of live dev, and we'll get a chance to look at the game. This is SoulWars. So this is a game that's being built cross-chain on Solana and on Sui as well, and other chains in the future. If we can use ICA on Sui to sort of integrate those token accounts and NFT accounts and things like that. I've been working on this for about, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks now. I forget. I've lost track. And it's been crazy fun, honestly. Um, so we have a website up. You can it has support for logging in through both through your Phantom wallet or through your Sui wallet to your Sui wallet or your Solana account. So you have profiles where you can link a bunch of different accounts. So if you have different wallets with different NFTs or tokens that you want this thing to know about, you'll do that. Later on, when we have access to some other technology, we'll be linking up things like TikTok and Facebook Live and YouTube. Most new game users actually come from YouTube and TikTok. It's a massive audience there. We have heroes built, so you can go create heroes as well. And also, you could specify how often you want them to show up. And the way that heroes work is that you build a hero. He's got his different stats and things like that. Let me show you. He's got his different stats that you can change at creation time, and then you add points to them as you go. So, for example, none of these guys has much unspent XP, but Dave the Great has a little bit of unspent XP. Well, if I had earned more XP for this guy, I could spend it on his stats to increase them. Okay. We also can set his AI strategies because when you make a character, he goes out and starts battling. And battles come up in two different ways. There'll be more and more added. Basically, if somebody's running the game on their channel, like running it 24 hours a day, he'll show up on the screen in a battle. When the game calls, say, hey, I need a hero. There was an 80s song, I need a hero. It's like that. Um, It'll go into your frequency settings and decide how often he's supposed to be there. There's a little color code here, but you can also change it here. So, like Swift Badger, I want him to show up very often. So I have the frequency set to very frequent. Dave the Great, I want him to show up often. And these guys are just not to be added at all. So basically, I have these three heroes that can show up anytime. And when you call for a hero, it goes and looks at your frequency settings and then picks one. And then picks one to show up inside the battle. And then he'll battle on screen with all the other combatants, and at the end get a little bit of a reward. So I'm going to take you through that real quick, and get a little refresher myself. I'm running this locally right now, so I'm running it off my computer, and also will run on the main site as well. Excuse me. Other things that are here are like leaderboards from being in the season. We have different seasons set up. So you'll be able to battle like I said on screens all around the world. This will run on TikTok, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitch, Kick, Pump Fun, all that kind of stuff, or in Discords too. Anywhere where you can stream a game, people will be able to see and interact with through chat to join the games, win prizes, and things like that. So it's a whole new kind of experience for the users to be able to kind of play games by creating a hero that battles for them. If you're there, if you happen to be there in the audience, you can have a little bit more direct control. I'll show you how that works. So normally you have strategies for your hero that you set. Like what his basic combat style is. Is it going to be a defensive style or is it going to be more aggressive? And that because there are combat rules in any game, right? So there's combat rules of like attacking and defending. So that has to do with that. Then there's resource priority when you whether to prioritize food or combat. That's not an accurate description. It's really when you're looking for there's stuff that shows up on the ground. There's food that shows up on the ground which will heal you, but there's loot that shows up on the ground like potions and items and tokens. Like you can pick up coins that lay on the ground from when other players have been killed or monsters have been killed or that are just there. What do you prioritize as you're wandering around? Do you prioritize the food to heal, or do you prioritize your loot? Um, and these again are your basic strategies that you set in place. And there are sliders like you see. You can just sort of set where they are. Then the battle position. In a battle royale, there's a zone that moves in. So there's an edge. Are you like an edge camper who tries to stay near the edge, or you kind of head towards the middle? You can sort of set that here as well. Then there's combat range. If you happen to have a ranged weapon, whether that's a bow, a crossbow, a sling, a spear, all that kind of stuff, they're ranged weapons that consume like ammunition. Do you focus on using those? Because ammunition is finite, not infinite. Or do you focus on melee, or are you balanced in between? Ranged weapon combat can be very, very useful. We actually have a bunch of different ranged weapons created, and they'll be added to the game before launch. Hopefully before launch. And then finally, item usage. Because you can have potions and things like that in your inventory, how often do you use them? Remember, this happens when you're not around. This is an auto battle, or for the most part. So when you're not around, how often do they use? Are you conservative with them? Do you use them whenever you need them, or do you like hold back because you know there'll be another battle, that you get to fight? So you can sort of set your preferences here, and they're meant to be brought inside the game, and that's something that we're fixing today. The attributes as well. So I noticed last night as some people were playing live that some of the attributes were not being added properly. First of all, I want to check something here because this says I have 1.5 million unspent XP. Swift Badger. Oh, here it is, 1.5 million unspent XP. So I actually want to level him up, level up his health. So his endurance is already max. I want to level up his health because the big thing that I noticed is that people's health inside the game, even though I had given some of the players a lot of XP to level up their guy with. I'm just leveling him up here. I'm actually using a socket connection on this health to make it go faster. So otherwise it would be like one web request and it would take forever. I noticed that people's health was not nearly as high as it should have been. They were like 100 or 150, but some of the players have a lot of health. Okay, so here I should have a ton of health, 217 health for Swift Badger. I want to make sure that he's my only guy that gets picked. So let me just adjust the settings for frequency. So now he should be the only hero of mine that comes up, and that's why he's green. He'll come up all the time, and the red ones won't come up. So that's a couple things we want to test. I basically have a couple of bugs to fix, making sure that your hero stats go inside the game. And then a couple of the other things we have to do before launch are make sure the shop works. Actually, the next thing I'm going to do is loot system and prize pools and side betting. And yeah, refresh. Go ahead and I'll refresh. So I've been keeping track of things through Trello, which is a very kind of easy way to do some basic project management. And I also want to make sure that people don't have to have a hero. Right now, I'm telling people go to the site, create heroes, which is fine. But I don't want to have people have created a hero before they start. I want them to be able to type join right inside the game when it launches and be able to automatically right here. This is important. So it's something that I probably want to do today. All holders get a hero made for them by joining in chat. So that means, and we'll probably do it for X and Pump Fun first because we already have the chats hooked up there. But I was looking at the Restream API, which is going to let me hook up to YouTube Live, TikTok, all that kind of stuff. And when the chat comes in, I want to be able to make an account for you, make a hero for you, note your ID from that platform and where you came from. So all that gets done for you. You said play while the game was active, so I know that you want to be part of the game. Create your hero. Then you'll just be there. It'll be flagged as being auto-created. And then when you log into the website, you'll be able to see them have a bunch of unspent XP, maybe some loot or whatever, and then see, oh, look at that. I have some tokens or some NFTs that I've earned, some loot that I've earned in a wallet. What's a wallet? Oh, it's like a Solana or Sweet thing. That's cool. Let me check that out. So it's a great way to onboard people into blockchain games by starting from the reward side. They wanted to play, they played. They have some skin in the game now, and now they can go and trade their stuff or whatever. Okay, so I'll take you through a quick run of the game real quick before I get to work on fixing these bugs. So I'll show you how the game's supposed to run. I'm going to go to the game page. Now, the way that this is set up for me is I have created an entitlement system, okay? So as the administrator of this whole project, or people that I delegate to be admin to this project, I have different entitlements that I've created. So if I grant you an entitlement, it gives you permission to do something. So that's called an entitlement system. When you buy something in a store that unlocks something, that's usually called an entitlement. And usually when you purchase something like through in-app purchase, whatever, you get an entitlement. And that's just something that's saved in the database, given to your account, and they can look and check and see, okay, you look like you have the right to launch the game. So one of these entitlements is called game access. I have it. I've only granted it to one other person, the creator of the Hood Wars theme for now. So yeah, we also have armies in here, different NFT armies that have been set up, brought in all their artwork, etc. And there are some other surprises coming out this week too. So let's go to the game. I have the rights to load it and to launch it. One of the things I'm going to do right away is connect to the I'm going to connect to the Pump Fun chat link, because that's where we started the live dev for this. Where is it? It's going to take me a second to find it because I have a million tabs up right now. That's why I'm looking around like an idiot. Let's keep that one up while we look. I know it's here somewhere. That's so funny. I have so many tabs up I can't even keep track. Is it this? Here it is. I usually have all my streaming things up at one place. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste in the token ID, because this is something that any creator can do. Okay, if you have a Pump Fun token, you'll be able to launch this thing with your own token, and do prize pools in your own token, so for your community. So that could be really a lot of fun for you. So I'm going to connect. In the future, this will be a lot simpler. Okay, I'm going to connect. I'm going to hide this. So now, there we are. It's hidden. And I'm going to make my little head a little bit smaller. No, we'll keep it. We're going to launch it. I'm going to keep track of the volume, make sure it doesn't get too crazy. There we go. So yes, Ed, if you can hear me, it is part of the SoulSeed project. The link is gonna get made this week for that. I started it off as a little sneak attack project because I got tired of talking about what it is that I wanted to build, and decided to just start building it in public. So I started that over on Pump Fun like that. It's been an amazing experience. So and we're cruising towards launch. Being live every day has really helped me be extremely efficient in my development work, except on days where I had like a migraine, whatever. So that's why I built the whole infrastructure with Sui and Solana. And Ica is going to play a major role. And so is something like Inoki, where I can give people a wallet without them having to like have Slush Wallet installed or Phantom, whatever. That technology on Sui is extremely important. But yeah, this is actually going to be one of the first real use cases for your Arcana cores, because they'll grant you abilities inside this game. I already actually have the integration done, and that's one of the things I need to hook up for the heroes. So yeah, it's a big part of this project, and also demonstrates a lot of the core thesis that I had for SoulSeed, which was being able to quickly modify a game based on a fun game template. And even though it feels like a long time, I've been working on this for like 3 weeks now, I think. So this is kind of like one of the fastest games I've ever built in my life. And it has full token support, full NFT support, and interactive streamer support. So all the things that I wanted to have built for SoulSeed are going to be demonstrated essentially here, except for some of the cooler stuff like being able to own monsters and bosses. They're all on the roadmap for this game to demonstrate those features. Then people will sort of get it, what the idea is, like having these sort of games available. Like this is a big one. A lot of the other games on SoulSeed will be much smaller titles that people will create. This is a very large one. Anyway, let's launch this. The first thing that we should see is a join lobby, and the music is very loud. I'm going to turn it down. But I created a whole soundtrack for this thing, which is funny. What's up, Lionhead? So basically, this is meant to run on streams around the world, right? So it's meant to run in either automated by itself 24/7, or like you can be in the chat, like you see my little head in the chat. I'm actually going to make it a little bit smaller. Because streamers have audiences, right? So if you want to onboard people to games, the best way to do that is through like an audience interaction game. Now, this is a technology I actually built for movie theaters in the US like 10 years ago. And now all the dots are connecting for me to be able to do that through streamers. So I'll have a channel which runs this 24 hours a day, but other streamers can use it and use it with their audiences or communities in their discords or whatever. So the idea of having this big fat thing that says join, oh man, I got to restart it. I talked too much. Let me try that again. So you'll be able to connect that up to any token you have on Solana or Sui, and launch it so that it hooks up to your chat, and you'll be able to hook up to whatever chats you have. I'll pause this while I commiserate. So the idea is that you're seeing this stuff. So I'll show you real quick, for example, and I know that we're going to have this on Sui, but we don't have it yet. If you go to live streams, you see thumbnails, 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 thumbnails. And the same thing for Twitch, etc. Okay? And so the exciting piece of this is that they'll see a large piece of text and stop. Okay, and then they'll be, okay, let me go type join in the chat. I only have it hooked up to the pump chat right now. But let me show you what will happen if I hooked it up to, I have a little test command that I'm going to enter in chat. I'm just going to check real quick. Is this the hero that I wanted to prioritize? It is not, so that is a bit of an error. Today, fix frequency selection. My guy is being picked, and I said don't pick him. I said pick this guy. Silver joined, and I'm going to type a command because we want a lot of people to be able to join. Well, how do you do that? Because you want the audience, the player, to really have a spotlight, right? So I'm going to type in a test command that will show you what it's like to, I promise it works. Doesn't it work? Should be working. Try it again. There it is. So it's going to basically auto join some demo characters from the database. Actually, these are all real characters from the database. And you'll see like the grid sort of resizes and they go off. So it's kind of like a neater way to like have multiple people join instead of just showing up in a list. They'll all still have their uniqueness, and the icons, the player icons, will be unique over time. But it's, yeah, a cool way to sort of do that. So I'm going to reset. Sorry, Silver. Silver's been one of the people testing out all my little broken things from day one, pretty much. But I'm going to join here. Okay, so I've joined. I thought I joined. I'll try again. There I am. And we'll go ahead and start the game. Sol Capone, what's up? I know that you have a hero, but it's not pulling the data correctly. That's one of the things I'm going to be fixing today. I know you have a hero. He kicked my butt yesterday in a match. But I'll go ahead and get started. So these guys are joining from the Pump Fun lobby, essentially. So you can imagine this game running on TikTok and like with 1,000 people in the audience from whatever random streamer, and then them all joining one match. Because this game will support a lot of players, we'll do it with, let's do it with 500. No, we can't. Let's just do it with 20. I'm gonna miss my opportunity here. There we go. We can do 500, but they all show up on the reward screen. I'm gonna turn this down. It's already turned down pretty good. Okay, this is one of the screens I need to fix. Yeah, so you hear a lot of combat sounds going down. There we go, combat sounds. The music is no longer playing during the battle. That's the bug I gotta fix. But basically we have the players and the random players joining here, and the camera sort of zooms in as the zone moves in, because this mode is a free-for-all battle royale mode. If I'm here sitting at the screen and watching, I can move the camera around, sort of zoom in on some of the action, to go take a look at some of the little side battles going down. Who's down here? I'm going to work on this camera zoom a little bit, but it'll go in pretty close. It just continues to zoom in as the battle progresses. It's really neat to see it with like 1,000 people. Oh, I think that little sparkle meant somebody type show or join. Let me see. There we go. If you're dead, you can't, like, that just sees your sparkle. And that's one of the frustrating things, because Silver, like I said, has been playing since day one. And his his character dies so fast. Even though he's upgraded his stats, it's not bringing them in yet. So that's something I'm going to be fixing today. Okay, so we're down to the last 5 players, and still rocking and rolling. And you can't see them because the artwork isn't pulling in yet. But if you see these little tiny black dots around, that's food. Those are the food items that the heroes are running towards at times to try and get healing. Like here's one. The artwork isn't being pulled in from AWS. AWS is having some issues today. But it's down to final 3. They're going to battle. There's a little cloud moving across the battlefield, it looks like. Soldiers going after some healing. And Swift Badger, which is my guy, is going into this battle with nothing up his sleeves. So I'm going to try and type heal. It's going to be too late. It's too late. Oh well, whatever. Now he's crowned as the winner. Nice little victory screen. There's some poppy music that plays here. Let's see if I can get this music up. Oh, you can hear it. I love this music. So yeah, you get the battle summary screen, and then there were a lot of players here. So I'll basically be shaving this down to maybe the top 10. And it takes one by one. You get to see how much XP they got and any cool stuff they found. That way, if you're watching in the audience, then you're like, hey, that looks cool. I want to join in next battle. Because this is meant to be interactive entertainment that you can join in or just watch. A lot of times streamers have no options. Sometimes they'll do like supporter games or whatever if they get people to coordinate. But this is something you can engage in like in the middle. You can influence your guy. I showed you the sliders before about the how the heroes work, like this, the strategies. When you type a command inside the game, it temporarily overrides a strategy. Like when somebody was typing like attack, it temporarily override the combat style. So yeah, the battle reward screen is a nice little showcase. A few little bugs to fix here, but we have a task called UI polish, I think for Thursday or whatever. But the bottom line is, we're on track to release this week. If there are token rewards that are associated with this match, they'd be going out here during this reward screen. That's what it's there for, is to show you what you got and then send it out to you on the blockchain. If you don't have a wallet because you signed up, then you'll probably like have it available for a little while, but eventually it will come back into the main pool. Because if there's somebody who just like just typed play or whatever and then just walked away, they'll have to come claim their rewards if they don't have a wallet, essentially. And if they don't, then over time it will just go back into the never land. All right, so I'm not gonna like wait for the whole like massive thing because I wanted to do actually some dev work here. Hey, what's up, Van? So since we have a couple more people here, I'll show you guys a giant battle. I actually had done one the other day between Doonies and some other NFT collection as well, which is pretty neat. I have them defined over here in armies, but I'm not going to have the armies stuff available for this week's release. This week's release is just free for all, but we will have team versus team and armies and stuff like that. These are a lot of fun to make videos out of. But yeah, I had to create a whole NFT ingestion system where it pulls in the artwork and metadata for all the different NFTs on Solana or Sui that we're interested in showing. But okay, so here we're just going to do pause for a second and crank up the number of players so we can see a big fat battle. Let's do 1,000. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So Silver has joined again. I think I'll join too. We're not going to be able to watch the reward screen for this because it's going to be ridiculously big. So the restream, Cheeky Penguin is my guy too. The restream API will let me pick up join chats from all the platforms, but right now it's only hooked up to the Pump Fun one through this little thing here. I think that's in my stretch goal for this week, is to get them all to come in. Because I'm streaming right now on YouTube Live, on Twitch, on Facebook, on 2 different X accounts. So anywhere somebody types in a command, I want it to come into the game. Is the goal there, so you can get a lot of eyeballs. If one successful streamer or even non-successful streamer on any of those platforms or TikTok or whatever um, brings in 1,000 users at a time, that's good for our blockchains. That's good for our NFT collections. That's good for our meme coin collections. All that stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and start the match here. This is going to have, I think, 1,000 players, so it's going to be a pretty big one. You will be able to own a battlefield, and you'll show at the end of the battle you get to pick up what's left. Okay, so this is a pretty big one, 1,000 players, and some of the UI cleanup is going to be me fixing the centering on certain things or whatever. I'm actually going to turn the volume up a little bit here. You can see the number of players left goes down pretty quick. And when it gets to about under, I think it's 200 or so, we start to see people's names. Otherwise, it's just too much on the screen at once. Luckily, it doesn't take long for everybody to die. But these are all AI characters that people have set up that are following the AI priorities for aggressive versus defensive, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, now we see names coming in. It gets down pretty fast. It'll leave these little blood stains on the ground, little corpses on the ground as well. When the camera shakes like that, it means the zone is closing in. So it should be, yeah, these little clouds on the outside is like the death fog. I actually cheated a little bit. I used the same cloud. I made a cloud texture out of circles in Photoshop, and then I used it for the fog as well. There's no peaceful moving clouds on this one. So it gets down to the last 18 or so. When it gets down to the final 5, is when we see a side bet screen come up, because maybe you're watching what's going on. You could see what items people have, and you want to place a side bet. So much devastation here. And then the camera starts zooming in more. You can barely see it, but there's a little tiny red square. You see it? That's the camera focus square that I set up. And it's meant to let me scroll around to different areas, but the zoom out snapback is not exactly very smooth yet, but it will be. Okay, and when it hits 5 players left, an intermission screen comes up. It says, hey, these are your final survivors. You'll be able to make a little prediction bet based on who will win using whatever token that the game is running on. Okay, so using prediction market mechanics. And then we get down to the end. And we'll see the reward screen is going to be stupid on this one because there'll be 1,000 players across the top of the screen. It's not going to look that great. But we'll adjust that to be like top 20 or so. Actually, I'm going to make a quick note to do that. Yeah, it looks like Frozen Doe is coming in hot, but he's going for this little health. There's a health here. Jade Newt is going to third party. Oh no, Frozen Doe is actually going to get the chance to come in and do a little bit of back striking. But Jade Newt has got more health coming into this final battle. This is fun. It's like watching a football game kind of, and you get to kind of commentate. My intent to help organic growth is to make personalities or personas. It's actually on the roadmap for this week, so that we can make like an Elon Musk character to play inside the games. Different parody, using the parody rules of the US. Different parody characters that'll fight. I love this music. Yeah, so you guys can hear it too. It's gonna be loud, I know. Very victorious. So you get a little battle summary. Let you know that the reward ceremony is going to begin, and then it's going to get ridiculous. Each player gets a little spotlight, and so you get to see what they earned. We'll get little sound effects here, like that kind of stuff. And these are all little placeholder things, like if they uncovered a rare item or whatever. And then we're sending out transactions right to them from whatever the prize pool was. The fun thing here is that if there was stuff left on the battlefield from all these, bodies there, the battlefield owner actually gets to like clean up the battlefield and keep a lot of that stuff. So it's like a passive way to get yourself involved in the game. Obviously, if there's a battle on your land and then they take people off and they all go to the hospital and all that kind of stuff, um, you don't know what belongs to who. If they all wander away, like you get to go keep what's left. So that's kind of a cool thing. A nice benefit to being a landowner is being able to collect the spoils of the battle. So yeah, that's a little kind of look at SoulWars. It's meant to be an interactive streaming audience game, but we will have a version that you can kind of like do little side quests on your own. Because after you've put some time into making characters, uh, it's actually pretty neat to be able to say like go on a quest or whatever and be able to have them level up, doing lots of things. So it's kind of a baseline system that we made to be able to support lots of different things. And this is to demonstrate the full potential of what SoulSeed can be as an interactive audience game platform. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of live dev today, pretty much, and excited for that. I'm also going to be enabling other people to run this very soon, and they'll be able to buy stuff. People will be able to use tokens on whatever blockchain to buy stuff. You'll be able to use the SoulWars token to buy battlefields and player customizations or items. But if people make specific themes, because we have, like, for example, this is the SoulWars theme in the theme creator that I've set up, where I could basically change all the different graphics, all the different battlefields, set margins on them all. I did this all in the last 2.5 weeks or so. Coming live on camera has helped me be extremely productive. All the different battlefields, the different player icons that are available. I'll show you some of the cool stuff that they have on one of the other ones. Then the music that can come up for battle music, or the rewards, or the pregame. Like, there's a lot in here, and all the different sound effects that happen in battle with the different categories. We haven't even seen any spells yet, like all the fireballs and lightning stuff. We got all this stuff here. What happens when you get hit, taunting and screaming and stuff. And then the intermission screens that come up under certain conditions, like as a certain amount of time has passed, there's a certain number of players that are left. I made this intermission screen trigger system. So people are going to be able to actually create their own themes. You could actually do it now. I just need to unlock it for people to do it. There's one called Hood Wars that my friend Top made, and it's completely ghetto themed. We've got some different ghetto battlefields, like courts, broken down parking lots, the tops of project buildings, all that kind of stuff. And he's got all these different players that he's set up with different special abilities like throat punch, ball smash, thunder thighs, and then these taunts that they have that they yell out in the middle of the battle, which we can add this whole taunt system. And right now the only class is warrior, but guess what? We'll have your mages too that do stuff with whatever, and custom weapons like pistols and all that. We made a bunch of custom music for this theme as well, using Suno, which is a great little app, and that's mostly it. So people can start to make their own custom themes and then sell them, and then get royalties on them, which is pretty neat. You can put a little bit of effort into them, or you can put a ton of effort. Like this one is actually it's not even all the way done. There's probably another 30 different characters that can be added. Somebody just needs to put in the time to do that, and then the different battlefields and stuff. So yeah, we're ready to actually go live, and this theme does work. I could probably actually haven't tested it with a new system. I'm curious. Let's go ahead and break some stuff. I had it working the other day, and then I made a lot of changes. So if I select the Hood Wars theme and it loads up, so it didn't actually load up. So SoulWars, okay, it's SoulWars, Hood Wars. Let's try and back up here. I keep getting these little AWS issues. Let's try this again. Yeah, AWS issues here. That stinks. Let's try again. There it is. Okay. So each theme can have their own little pre-launch screen. Actually, I expect it to break. Yeah, it's mostly broken. because it's using all the sound effects from the main game. But let's see if we can get it to work anyway. We'll just do like these guys. Okay, so it did pick up the okay, it's mostly working except for the sounds. So yeah, this is an example of how you do a custom theme. You set up a basic battle map. And right now there's squares. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the squares. I have them zoom in, like here. Oh, see, it's kind of funny. It made some AI characters as well, and it picked some Soul Warriors guys. And all the icons are dim. I noticed that they're dim. They're not like fully bright, but it's got the different Soul Wars characters here. I mean, Hood Wars characters here. And the taunt system is turned off. But it's basically it. You can create your own custom theme with your own sounds and stuff like that, and it just works. So that's kind of a neat way for people to make their own content for the game. One of the principles of Soulseed is that given a game template, you should be able to quickly launch a new version of it where you can monetize it. Anybody can monetize it pretty quickly. So yeah, live dev today. Can I buy or create land that people battle on? Yeah. I know you asked that like 5 minutes ago, Van. Absolutely. That's one of the main revenue drivers, probably, is for people to be able to buy a battlefield that exists based on existing artwork, or create a new one and add it. I would like people to be able to create a new battlefield, add it, and then sell it like in a marketplace so that people can buy it. Because not everybody knows how to make a good looking battlefield, as you know, being a designer artist kind of guy. If you want to make a cool looking battlefield and could supply a nice 4096 by 4096 texture, and people want, microtransactions right there all day long. And that's where we're going to use Ica to do the revenue sharing for that kind of stuff. So this is highly dependent on SWE Rails to get working. So I'm hoping to talk to those guys real soon and show them what I've been up to. This is a little project I've been doing kind of in stealth. I started a few weeks ago to I wanted to try something with streaming, and it turned into this really fast, and it has a lot of potential. So when I looked at the numbers and saw there's 280 million streamers that stream every day to 680 million active viewers, I was like, those people all need content and stuff to do. Wouldn't it be neat to give them a way to monetize their streams a little bit better? And that's why I came up with this like auto battler thing. I know that when we do some of the cool things like do all the tech bros in one big battle together, or tech bros versus the world, or Republicans versus Democrats versus hillbillies or whatever. There'll be a lot of fun content you can create with this thing and kind of share it out. But yeah, been building it secretly with a nice little community, and haven't talked about it on my main account really. And because I'm headed towards a launch this week, I still have to do the loot system, set up the shop, and do a little bit of cleanup and polish for the UI so that people can kind of like go through the motions. And then there's months of work I have to do after that. I have a lot of stuff on the roadmap to do. And a lot of ideas have come in through the community as well, which I'm very grateful for. But yeah, that's SoulWars pretty much. And it falls under the Soulseed umbrella, but it is the first, I would say, tentpole or flagship title for the system, and very, very exciting. So I'm going to be showing this to the SWE people this week. I definitely already have created some community engagement for the different communities over there, and I want people to be able to use their own tokens and do prize pools and stuff like that. Hopefully Blast also will do something with live streaming. They must be it must be AWS. That's unfortunate. The AWS outage has been yucky. Failed to load resource. Yeah. Oh well. Bad AWS day. Bad day to do demos, everybody. Yeah, we got tons of bugs to fix, but it should be entertaining to watch. And you also have, I don't know if you caught this, but you'll be able to have different types of matches. Like if I go into SoulWars and click launch, there are different types of matches that you'll be able to do. Like your free-for-alls, your team battles, last man standing. That's like free-for-all, actually. And there will be other ones like Attack the Castle, kind of like Castle Clash, where everybody rushes in. And also be like PvP, PvE, and then story mode, because we have a whole big story that we only have bits of it, but enough that we want to tell My partner KT and actually Cheese Cat too, my son, we have a ton of ideas for story because I started making games so I could tell stories. I just haven't been able to get into that part because I've been building tech for so long. We have a lot of story that we want to tell. So when a big boss comes in, and you can see, I could easily spawn in a large boss. That's the cool stuff. You haven't seen any of this. Is that you as the creator could use chat or a second screen to do something. Spawn a boss into the world. Spawn 100 monsters that everybody has to fight. Make loot show up for everybody. Make something really bad happen. Make something really good happen. Really affect the flow of the battle. You haven't seen any of that stuff yet. All we've seen so far are people being able to use chat commands to do heal or attack or run. Moonbags, to be honest, Blast has too many snipers. Oh, really? Can I add obstacles onto the map? So right now it's just a texture, but I need obstacles badly. So I was talking to Grok the other day about using A Star, which is a pathfinding routine. And I think that we'll do in the map editor here. I have to make it simple for people to use or nobody will do it. But on the map editor here, we'll have a view for the battlefield where when you're creating a battlefield, right now the only flexibility you have are setting the margins and how big the objects are going to be on it, because the scale of it is important, right? And the margins are how far in people spawn. But I want to have a layer on top of this where you're able to add animated graphics, so you can add sprite sheets of animated stuff to make things cooler. I have a few people working on stuff like that already, but also obstacles so that those things don't become places where people can walk. Because you could do a tower defense with this, like so easy, a tower defense style game and all that kind of stuff. But I have to make it easy for people to use because nobody's going to go download a map editor. I have to make it here. And I think just placing squares on top of, so you sort of will see it as a layer on top of your map and be able to put different obstacles and stuff like that. So starting with the texture and then maybe drag and drop obstacles onto the screen, and resize them, I think would be enough for that. So that's a challenge that's probably coming next month after I have the basic one out. I want to do a tower defense map so that you spawn dudes in and they go over in a path, and a story mode in, which grabs a hero and like sends them into a village. And I don't know. You need obstacles and pathfinding. Right now, people can just wander anywhere. Moonbags, to be honest. I would like a streaming platform. This is really, really fun to start on Pump Fun with because I could go live and people were asking questions, and nobody's doing anything like this ever. So this was pretty cool to start over there. But you need to have the streaming support, really. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do in terms of like SUI integration specifically. I have a ton of NFTs integrated. Our kind of cores are going to be integrated. Tokens are going to be integrated, and I'm going to use Ica for a lot of stuff. I mean, that's a lot of integration, but I don't necessarily think you have to have the live streaming stuff, but it does help for sure. We don't have that really culture over on SUI much yet. The Boneyard sounds awesome. Yeah, it'd be cool to have a little Doonies theme, where the players all come out of a Doonies. Actually, I already have the whole Doonies army. So that will be like picking the army. That'll be a thing on the configuration screen here where you'll be able to like pick the army. But that will be an entitlement that I grant you, Van, a person, or anybody that you want to have it. Because I have these set up as entitlements here. Manage entitlements. To be able to have theme access, and there'll be one here for use a specific army, as the battle armies, because not everybody should have access to everything, in my opinion. But if somebody says, yeah, I own that project and I want this person, this person, this person to have access to it, it's very easy for me to do that. I would just add it here and grant them the entitlement. It can be, so granting entitlement, I could look for like Cheese Cat's wallet, for example, grab an entitlement, give them access to the theme creator, may I have it just be a trial entitlement, all this kind of stuff. I have all these features built out. AI helped me build a lot, obviously, to build and grant access to something for a limited amount of time, or just grant it to them, or the purchase system grants it to them. But all this stuff works already. So yeah, I would say in 3 weeks we've come a long way and about ready to release. So I was hoping to have I did a Doonies. I did one the other day, but the when I zoomed in, the names were print machines. But I did one the other day. It was kind of funny. Yeah, going live has helped me a ton in just being like accountable and getting a lot of stuff done. And I'll show you where we came from, just so you have an idea. When I first prototyped this a few weeks ago, um, this is what it looked like on like the first. I promised to have a running game on day one that sent out prizes. And I sent out like $2,000 worth of Solana using this, basically these red squares, and I prototyped it, and it was fun. So I decided to build out the rest of the game pretty much. Um, so all came from this. But these little red things were the original corpse markers, and the original green dots were food that you could go get. So that's what I prototyped on, and then slowly added, made a roadmap, revised it over and over and over again. So it really has come quite a long way in just 2 weeks. Um, I'm trying to see where I had the Doonies one because it was pretty fun to watch. Oh, it's probably one of these. Yeah, it's one of the first ones I did, and this thing's much more complicated. I simplified it a lot. It was Doonies versus Prime Machines. um, that's why I need pathfinding, is that they just walk all over each other, which looks sloppy. Because really, when you think, like, how do I orchestrate? This is orchestration of an event. How do I orchestrate a giant battle? Everybody doesn't just rush in. Some people stay back. They use some ranged weapons. They go help. There are different waves that come in. So these end up just kind of like doing a behavior where they go. These guys in the bottom are like, hey, nobody here. I'm just going to keep running. But it was a neat little prototype of what an army system could look like. And my computer could run it on. I just have to be able to run it on my computer and broadcast it out. I don't have to worry about cheating, which is incredible. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff because it runs on a trusted computer. But it got so hot. This thing was. It actually made me start sweating. It was like 5,000 characters on the screen. But yeah, this was really cool to see this, and I did it with Swimilios as well. Um, but there's a lot that can be done in terms of like adding lore screens. That's why I built the whole intermission screen. Like now a boss appears, and maybe that when you want to happen when only 30 players are left. I built an intermission screen system to be able to do that kind of stuff. And then bam, a big giant boss or like a bunch of things pop open. So we have this whole big event based system to be able to run inside the game and do a lot of other stuff with it. So it's got a lot of flexibility to it. This first release is going to be pretty much as basic as it can possibly get. Heroes that battle 24 hours a day. And here's the original taunt system, which I didn't like because it kind of all spawned on top of each other. But yeah, that was a neat way to put little taunts in. I would like people to do voice taunts in the last 5 characters or so. It's bacon time. Yeah. And now they gang up on the Dooney, so diddly doodly o. Yes. And that was the original battle leaderboard. But yeah, we've come a long way in the last couple of weeks because I work night and day on this thing, and I've only gotten really sick like once. Then I had to come up with a website and all this stuff. So it's been a lot of work, but I've loved to do it. We have a great little community on Telegram. We have a little TikTok account. I'm trying to apply for live streaming there and on LinkedIn Live, because the idea is that the more eyeballs will see it. Like you guys saw the stream, I put it on my account. It's like I can keep that running 24 hours a day. Battles can run 24 hours a day as long as I'm building in screens that give a little bit of instruction as to like what to do, that people can see. That's why I built a very, very fancy reward screen so that people can see, like, you won, here's a prize, and join in for the next one. Like those are calls to action built in with entertainment. We have areas for sponsorship. So I used to do a lot of work in ad tech, and the value of an organic eyeball, like somebody sitting there doing something, is very high. Um, so because this runs on some other computer, there isn't a lot to hack. There's not a lot of cheat, so there's not a lot of different ways people can extract from the system. So it's kind of like a really neat way to kind of get that done. And you hear us battle 24 hours a day, whether it's on my screen or other screens. It will also just have a regular, like a server-based thing. Nobody actually sees it, but he goes and does a quest, gets some XP. You like DeFi Kingdoms or something like that, or a regular game which you actually play. But then I'll have to worry about multiplayer cheating and stuff like that. But yeah, okay. So it's already 4:30 p.m. Kind of crazy. But one of the things I needed to fix was the fact that players aren't coming in with their abilities, with their correct health and stuff like that. So that's what I was going to be working on here. So let me connect to the chat room and bring up my little console. I'm going to do a join. I'm really proud of this lobby screen, by the way that they kind of join in rows and columns and keeps adding to the grid. I want to add that up to 100 players, I think, and then do it. So I'm going to pause this here to examine the data. This is not exciting stuff, but you can watch if you're interested in game dev. So basically, I received the external chat event, and it came from SoulWars chat on Pump Fun. Yep. It processed the chat message, knew my username, my wallet address. So that helped me look myself up in the database. And in the database, I had lots of heroes for this wallet address. So it went from the wallet address, looked up my user account here. I looked at my wallet address, found my user account. From my user account, I pulled all my heroes. And it looks like we have 35 heroes that were made between yesterday and today. That's good. And it pulled in a hero. It decided to pull in a random hero, and it pulled in which hero? Added the player. Adding player. Which hero? Sassy Dingo. So that's a problem. Sassy Dingo should not have been pulled. So I'm going to tell AI about this. Enriched data. Here it is. So this is where it found the enriched data that it supposedly was going to pick. Selected hero based on battle frequency. Yeah, this was frequency 0. What is it about frequency 0 that you said, let's pick that one? No, let's not pick that one. Obviously a problem. Luckily, I had good debug support in there. I love working with AI to build stuff because I basically can treat them like an engineer. So I'm going to save this. I don't believe these are the correct stats. I have to undo this from last night. Let's do that real quick. Okay, these are the normal stats for how to get to health and all this kind of stuff from your base stats. You have your base stats and then your derived stats. So even though you're just seeing a little dude, it's not always going to be a little dude. It's going to be an animated character at some point. And there's a lot behind him, a lot of data behind him. There are skills behind him, data behind him, points, all kind of math. That's why we can do really cool NFT support that it affects your stats in lots of different ways. That's why we can have different strategies for AI, because there's a lot of math here. So I'm going to exit out of here because it's been bugging hard. Okay, so, and I talk to AI a lot. So I'm going to use Grok because Grok's usually pretty good at this stuff. I noticed late at night it's really been sucking wind pretty badly. Probably because people are using it to generate a lot of videos. I don't know really what the reason is, but it's been kind of like phoning it in, if that makes sense. You'd think an AI couldn't really phone it in, but at some point in time, it decides this answer is good enough. I'm going to give it back to you. And I've noticed that late at night lately, even ChatGPT and Grok are both kind of phoning it in. They'll be like, oh, if you want me to do that, just let me know, instead of just doing it like it's going to do now. When I join with a manual chat command, I notice the frequency. So let's fix this first. Distribution is not being respected. We've tested it heavily. Okay, I'm not going to say all that. Is not being respected. I don't want to be derogatory to AI because you never know when it's going to seek revenge. When I join with a manual chat command, the frequency distribution is not being respected. And I'm going to paste in what was in the console. For example, frequency 0 should be Not available. So I'm going to do two things. First thing, I'm going to switch this into ask mode. Okay. That tells it to not do anything, just look at stuff. Um, and let's find the enrichment too. So this is adding enriched data. Adding hero based on chat commands like 137. Selected hero, eligible heroes, heroes filter. Oh, you know what? I think this is what the problem was, because this right here, look at this. It says if not hero.battle frequency. Well, in this case, I had battle frequency set to 0 for some of these heroes. That rhymed a little too much. Apologize for that. 0 is, it's what you call a falsy value. It means not, it means no. So it looks like it gave it a random number instead of, so I have to actually have it check for not equal to 0. Let's see if that works. Before I tell AI to do stuff, let's just change it. If the battle frequency is 0, return false for this hero. Man, that rhymes. That's really too good. Battle frequency is 0, return false for this hero. Okay, now what is happening? So it's a filter. So when you're doing a filter, you have to return either true or false for this value to be added to the filter, is how that works in JavaScript. Okay, so first thing I want to do is we're going to spit out all the heroes, and we should be able to see, we don't have an active hero yet. And at the end, we're going to spit out the eligible heroes. This is going to tell us our eligibility setting is correct. So right now, if the battle frequency is 0, convert battle frequency to probability, clan frequency between 0 and 1. So we're going to make a couple changes here. Going to just make a couple of changes. And then I'm going to have to look at this. This is running, it's running on the client. Ideally, this would have come through on the server here. I think I might want to do it here instead of on the client. That way there's more control of the server. But let's see if it made any difference. So I'm going to close out my little window. You go. My son is at the gym with my other son. And he's on the Stairmaster. And he's at 70 flights of steps. So I'm saying, you go, champion. Okay, so battle. Where's my battle screen? Time for battle. Okay. So I'm going to connect to the Pump Fun chat here. Connect. I really got to automate that. Launch. Now, when I type in play, I want to see the, I'm going to pause this here. I'm going to go look at the data. Heroes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. First of all, do I have 8 heroes? Let's go look. Actually, better than looking at that, let's look at, no, let's look at the, I was going to say look at the data, but that's not much fun, right? Data. Go to heroes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 heroes. There's only one that's set to this. So let's go ahead and pick in heroes. Eligible heroes, only one. Okay. It actually was correct. It picked him. Perfect. All right. That looked like it worked. All right. Let's keep it going. I'm just going to say resume. And I'm going to start right away. So now I want Swift Badger to be joining here. And as soon as he spawns in, I'm going to type show so I can see where he is. There he is. Is it Swift Badger? That's my other question, is did he spawn with the right name and with the right icon? That's his icon. It looks like most of the others, but that is his. I hate this zoom. I gotta fix this. It's supposed to stay zoomed and zoom out in 15 seconds. All right, so Swift Badger is correct. Let's see if he spawned in with his correct stats is the other question. So let's see. Way back up here, eligible heroes, adding player with enriched data. Health is 150. Is his health 150? His health should be 217. So that's incorrect. So he was added correctly, but his health was incorrect. So let's go fix that next. Now he's running. Run away, run away. I'm noticing also, by the way, that the player icons for the AI generated are like dimmed out. And I actually want to, I'm going to ask about that real quick. So side quest. I notice the AI players sprites seem dim. Are they tinted or alpha, or have their alpha set in some way? So what happens is it builds a player list first, and then when it shows the battle screen, um, who owns the battlefield, stuff like that, and in the back end, it's pulling down texture files, all that kind of stuff, and then spawns the players. So there should be a player spawner here. Let's find it. Player spawner, here it is. Spawn player, texture key, new player, apply hero stats. I was going to check and see if there's any sort of like sprite weirdness that's going on. So we spawn it here. And the player, this sprite set depth, set scale. I ignore him on the UI camera. Oh, maybe it's a team color. Tinted or have the alpha set. I bet it's a team color. I bet that's it. Because it decided, in its wisdom, that the best way to do a free-for-all battle is to give everybody its own team. I mean, technically that's correct, but it's not usually how we think of it. But the reason why I didn't nuke it is I thought that would actually be kind of neat if I could form an alliance with somebody mid-battle. So I'm just going to leave it and see what happens. Now, the thing about Grok that I've noticed is that in terms of its code, it's not a very good visual thinker. Okay, here it is. I found the cause of the dim AI player sprites. It literally tinted them. Yeah, I found it. Okay. That's crazy. Yeah. That might be it. Okay. Don't tint them anymore. Okay. That's funny. That should fix that. So let's just test that real quick. I have probably, I want to say 50 little tiny rinky dink things like that to fix before we can launch. Well, I mean, I'm going to launch. As long as I have the rewards done, I'm going to launch. Swift Badger again is the only hero for me. Yeah, he's the only one that should be eligible. So at least that's done. And I'm going to start him. So nobody should be dimmed anymore or have a tint on them. Everybody's nice and bright. Perfect. Perfect. Did I have a task for this? Probably not. It's just something I noticed. Fixed frequency selection. That's done. This is next. Okay. All right, I'm going to let this run for a minute and I need to take a quick little break. I'll be back in a moment. It would help if I unmute my mic. That's okay. Definitely got to tweak this camera again. We got one guy way up at the top. Oh, there's a battle up at the top. Man, this is going to change real quick. Silver, you got a lot of health. You should be able to stay alive. Um, Silver versus who? Cheese Cat. I actually want to do a clip of this one. He's doing YouTube content for us, so. Brutal. Brutal. Also, for the record, the player icons, they're really good for this theme, but I would feel much happier if I had like some human style faces, I think, or something. These just look like weirdos. Okay. Okay, so back to what I was doing. I noticed, actually, instead of asking AI, I'm just going to see if I can figure it out what's going on here. Apply hero data if available. This is spawn players. Got to get the enriched data. Okay, so I know that the eligible heroes thing is working right now. That's great. Selected hero based on frequency. Oh, that's the thing I need to check. Did it pick the right data for that hero? So based on frequency. Selected hero. Ah, all right. I gotta let it run again. Join. One of the things which is neat, it's hard to see this, but this has a queued area behind it. So if 50 people typed join at the same time, and it was in the middle of adding new grids and rows for a growing player base, they'd queue and then they'd show up. So they're not going to kind of spawn in while that's resizing, just to keep it nice and neat. I'm gonna put on my little typing glove, which makes the pain go away. Okay. Oh, I did it again. Dang it. I had to reset this. I have to do this a bunch of times because I want it to pull in the correct stats. So what I'm trying to do right now is making sure it pulls in the correct stats when I type in join. So I'm going to cancel my little deal here. I'm going to type join. I said I'm going to type join. There it is. Selected hero based on eligible frequency, adding player with enriched data. Okay. Health is incorrect. Okay. Plain and simple. So now we're going to find out why. Adding player to join scene with enriched data. I want to do this on the server. Not on the client. So API users look up. So let's look this up. Look up wallet address, detect chain type. If user active hero is active true. Do I use the active flag anymore? I'm not sure if I do. I think I got rid of that. Is active. They're all active. Okay, get active hero. Don't. Setting the frequency to 0 makes him inactive. Where user ID is active. So let's do this differently. I don't want to use active heroes here. I want to make sure that if somebody's like, maybe we want to disable a hero in the database because we found out they're cheating or something. I don't know. And I'm just not going to send that down. So that's not going to be active hero data. Let hero data equals null. Yep. All heroes. This is probably where I should adjust the stats. Where are the stats formulas? I don't know. Calculate the secondary stats and the primary attributes. This is correct, but it doesn't take into account the primary spent attributes, the secondary. That's correct. So the endurance, let's just make sure this is how it's stored in the database. If I have a hero, this hero, Swift Badger, he has spent a little bit of money on quickness, whatever. Spent a lot of money, a lot of XP on health. Okay, so here he is. Let's do Swift Badger. Here's Swift Badger. So this was the current endurance. The current quickness is 19, and that includes the points that I've spent on quickness. So if I ever need to like backtrack, I can know. Most importantly, the health, stamina, and mana points, which are here. Mana and focus are going to be for spells, a lot of stuff like that. And heroes are going to be able to go on like solo adventures at some point in time where they have different skills they've got to use. This is just out of the gate what we need to do battles. You don't see all these mechanics, but they're all back there. So I need to take into account the points that they spent on health. So let's make sure that that is correct. Okay, let's let AI do it again. So if I type tab, I gave it a little description of what I wanted, kind of sneaky trick, and then I let it think for a second, grok thought for a second, and then it suggested what it is. So it's going to run through all the heroes. It's going to. Is this the correct formula? I don't know if this is the correct formula. We'll have to check this. This is the. I'm pretty sure this is positive. So you take your endurance divided by 2 and your strength divided by 2, and that should give you a health, and then you added points to it. We added. It should show us how many points. Oh, show spent points. See, I had this cool little feature I added to the UI here, which shows us our spent points. So if it's supposed to be, actually, I'm going to zoom this up a little bit here so I can watch it here. So my health is supposed to be endurance divided by 2, so 50, plus strength divided by 2. That makes sense. How strong, like my body's strong, and I've got endurance. I should have good health. So there should be 100 plus 50 plus my spent points, which is 67. So 50 plus 67 should be 217. 100% absolutely correct. In the database, it comes out as 217. So it should be okay pulling right out of the database. But just to be sure, because this also affects like items that you might have on. So really, I'm gonna have to apply items after this, I think, because the way that you calculate items is you might have an item that raises your health, in which case you have to, excuse me, your endurance, in which case you have to go back to the basic formula and start from there. So although this is helpful, and I'll keep it, we have to recalculate again here, and we'll do that. So for each hero that comes up, it's providing default values. So let's print out the values. There should be overrides if you haven't provided values. But I think what this one is doing is actually hard coding the values, which would be pretty lousy. Yeah, I think that's pretty lousy. Okay, and then I think the problem is this. So let's just check. Selected hero health. Whoops. All right, let's get rid of these. That way, it can make a lot of changes by itself. Perfect. So now it's setting the health equal to this. I don't know if this is correct. I don't think we'd use too much stamina. We'll check it after. But to do add in inventory items, because you might have a spell on you that gives you greater health or and strength or endurance, in which case we have to recalculate this stuff before calculating the stats. So that's good. And speed. 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 Elected hero. I don't know if that's the formula. I have a feeling it's not. Love you too. I think speed is a little bit simpler, really. These were based on the Asheron's Call stat systems because I loved them, loved them, loved them. That's 3 loves. And if I don't happen to have these, what about attack? Okay, so attack and defense are also not being chosen here. So we have to come up with those too. Did it just hear me? That's really weird because I actually just put in those formulas, which is kind of creepy. That was kind of creepy. So there are skills here. Let's see if we have these skills in there. That was really weird. Melee attack, melee defense, range attack, yada yada yada. That was so weird. It totally just pulled in that stuff. That was nuts. Okay. Heroes. I should pull in the attack stats then. Okay, so what we're not doing is we're not adding the skills. They do have a melee attack skill and a melee defense. Okay, so I'm gonna have to open up Grok again because I don't remember the formulas for these. I had asked Grok for them. I wanted them based on the Asheron's Call formulas. Let's see if I can figure it out. Melee, defense. No, I got rid of it. Dang it. Okay. History search. That's not what I wanted. Asheron's Call. I'm gonna look up the formula. Quickness plus coordination divided by 3. Good. And attack. Melee attack. There is no melee attack. Skills. Let's do heavy weapons. Is just strength. Okay. I like strength and coordination, but that's mostly for daggers, I guess. You'd think coordination. Let's do strength and coordination divided by 2. I like that. On D&D, attack bonuses are granted just by strength. I see you. I don't want to just accept that. Critical hits, battle simulator, critical cans. So I have a battle simulator, critical sit game to prevent infinite loop. I don't think a critical hit is being done yet. Let's see if this had any formulas. Defense. Try to see what I have in place for combat rules already. Okay, armor adds straight to your defense. Damage reduction from armor. I know this is boring, but this is part of game development. Make sure you get your formulas straight. Because what's happening is not what I expected to happen. For sure. And the critical rate. Critical hits. Let's find out how that is being figured out. It's being initialized to 0. Critical hits. Okay. Is critical is crit roll, so it's a random roll minus the crit chance. And the crit chance is defined as 5% plus a focus bonus plus that. Okay. I don't think the regular battle is using this stuff. So okay, we'll figure that out in a minute. So I want to do strength equination divided by 2. That's good. That's fine. And speed. Let's see if this is being used anywhere. Is the hero's speed stat being used in battle? Oh. Heroes with quickness 10 have normal attack speed. Heroes with quickness above 10 get faster attacks. Heroes with quickness below 10 have slower attacks. Here it is right here. Get effective quickness, get effective quickness. Okay. How about movement speed? You should be able to run faster. Yeah, I just added it. It's like, I see it's here. That's because I just literally added it. Okay, so looking at object scale, that's the right kind of place to look. Okay, that seems correct. That seems correct. All right, let's see what's going on here. Control B. This. This. Okay, let's go see if our stats made it. Okay. Getting closer. Okay, we're going to come out here to this bad boy, refresh it. Connect. Go. I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to join and see what my stats are. Join. Okay. Adding player. Selected hero. Health. There's my health. There's my speed. Good. Adding player. Haha. Yeah, it didn't add the correct player. Add the player. Hero. Stats. Look at that. Would you look at that? Total fail. Okay, I'm going to switch into this mode. So why didn't this work? So that was enrich player data. Did it return it properly? Oh, no, it found calculated stats. Okay. I think what we want to do is do this. That will just spread his stats right over into things, into the returned object. I think that was the problem. Because a calculated stats was not using the correct values at all. Launch. Let's do a join. Let's bring that up. Okay. Joined adding player. Hero. Stats are all there. Is that all you really needed? Attack, defense, health, and speed? Why? What did it look like before? Quickness, coordination. I think I should have everything. Adding player, hero stats. Selected hero. Is it here? There, that's okay. So it got all the information here on selected hero. It was here adding player, and then join scene adding player. Maybe it's just not giving us all the stats here, but they're all still there. That makes sense. Join scene adding player, joined player. Ah, look at that. Attack event speed. There were a lot more stats there before. Let's add more stats. Quickness, coordination, strength, endurance, focus, self. Now we have all the stats. There are definitely more. There's mana. And there's stamina. I don't need all these. And there's also going to be an inventory. So hero, level, stats, inventory. Let's add it now. Player data inventory or no. Okay, I think here, selected hero is going to have an inventory, so we'll add it there to make sure it gets added in. All right, I think that'll clear it up, honestly. Let's give that a shot again. Good over here. Okay, now let's take a look and see what we got. Adding player. Hero, stats, all kind of stuff. Inventory, no. Level 50. All right, so I expect him to load in with 217 health. Let's start the game. And I'm going to type in show. So I'm up there. Can't wait to fix this crooked screen. So he's going to do damage. I want to be able to zoom in better. Camera stuff is a pain in the butt. So just off guessing based on how it looks here, he's got the health he needs. That's awesome. But he really couldn't do 2 battles. Oh, heal. I always forget. Dang it. I always forget. That means silver should also have more. I want to be able to click on a guy. I wonder if I can click on them. Let's add that in. Okay, first I'm going to do is save where I'm at. Working player stats. Which guy was this that I spawned in with? Swift Badger. Yeah, there we go. All the correct stats. So that finally is working. Um, so this was fix working player stats commit. Um, I want to be able to click on a player in the scene and show his name, level, and health in a small window in the bottom right corner. Clicking health, click on a player and scene shows name. Oops, I said the word clicking. Let's let it do it. This was not one I should have asked Grok to do because Grok is not a very good visual thinker, unfortunately. At least not in its code. I don't know when it's making pictures, it's very good. Is this? Yeah, now it wants to do resize stuff. Okay. Please implement. This would be a lot more fun because when the creator is streaming, then I'll be able to click, and we'll expand this over time. We'll be able to click on somebody and see their name and stuff like that, set them as a target, perhaps. If I wanted to do stuff, like click on him and do stuff, or click on the map and do stuff. Because the creator needs to be able to interfere with the game as it's running, which is that's when we start getting the fun stuff, man. I hope it does a decent job with this. Last night, every time I asked it once to test the battle mechanics, and then like it tried making a whole like testing scaffolding and all this stuff, and it failed over and over and over again. So it got way overcomplicated. They're probably doing experiments there, just like I am here. So late at night, which is when I do a lot of my coding, they're probably trying out different things with their model to see like, yeah, are they successful or not. And you know, if it's just like in a search engine, you know if it's successful if people stop asking for the same thing, or they click and stay in a page. But if I keep asking the same thing to the AI over and over and over again, that's a good sign that it's not doing its task well, or that we're not saying it well. See, here's an example. It's creating a whole optimized production build. I didn't want you to do all that, but I appreciate it if it finds some mistakes and fixes them. Invalid end of line. No. Okay, it's fine. Let's just see if that works. So there are two things about this: is that when you have live objects giving you data in a situation like this, two things can happen. One is that when that object disappears, like dies, um, your little information window can wig out because it's like, oh, I don't know what that is. Two is that I want it to disappear if I click off of it, So let's see if it did that. I'm just gonna check and see. So implemented the panel. You click on it. It's a little transparent window. If you click it again, it hides the player. Clicking different players. Ideally, I want it to shut off if I click on the ground. Added player panel info references, how it works. Click the same player again to hide the panel. Yada, 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 yada. Okay. Yeah, that looks reasonable. Let's see if it works. A battlefield should be showing here, by the way, and it's not because it's another AWS issue. Hooray! I'm gonna have to have a default battlefield on my local server. All right, let's click on Swift Badger. Here you are. That is too small, so it's not being hidden from the game window. Okay, the player info panel should be isolated to the game UI camera, and we want to don't don't want to see it in the game camera. I hidden. So I have two cameras in the scene. There's one for the UI, which is stuff like the title, the player's left, blah blah blah, any buttons. Then there's the game camera, which is the one that moves around, and it's using the game camera to show the window, which is why it's so tiny. It should be hidden from that camera. It says I'm already connected. Join. Start game. It's kind of funny how these files are unreliably coming from AWS. It's been happening a lot lately. So now this should show up in the bottom right-hand corner, I think. Perfect. That actually looks pretty good. Okay, let's watch what happens. Is it alive? Yeah, I can see his health going down. Does it update? No, it does not update. All right, let's make sure it live updates. That's pretty cool, though. I like that. It thinks that the bottom right-hand corner is here. It also thinks the screen is here. That's why it's kind of aggravating. I'm actually take a picture of that. I'm not going to ask Grok because Grok can't really see that well. ChatGPT can see. Please make sure the player info panel gets updated. While it's monitoring a player. Yeah, so it's one thing to look at health bars. It's another thing to look and see like Swift Badger had a lot of health compared to some of the other guys. 317 total he could have because he gets a bonus. I forget what we gave the bonus for. It's neat to be able to see that because if you see a health bar and it's just green, like you don't have any context of like, okay, it's full. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean like it's a lot of health or what? It could be 10 health. I don't know. Join. You won't. Okay, it's doing stuff. Stop doing stuff. Oh, it's doing all this. It also keeps trying the same silly things over and over and over again. Like it should know this doesn't work on Windows, and you've got to do these commands separately. But instead, it tries it every single time. I should probably give it some rules, like, hey, you're on Windows, these commands don't work. to help it a little bit. I haven't done that. Let me see if I can give it a little rule now. Add new rules. Add new rule. Windows rule name can only contain lowercase. Windows commands. Always apply the rule attached to every chat and command request. Always apply. I don't know if this is the right way to do this. Always use Windows commands. I don't know if there's a special syntax. Into CD client. And then npm run build. This will save me 15 seconds each time. Let's see if that works. I don't know if it'll work. All right, keep all. Updates health display. Let's see if that works. Ready for battle. Ready for battle. Let's go. Start game. I didn't spawn myself this time. I think that it's going to maybe pick me anyway. We'll see. Pick me. Bam. So silver is going to go into a little bit of a battle here as soon as this stops. Let's click on. I really want to zoom in. Stop zooming me out. Okay, now I see it updating live. That's great. So he's getting hurt. It looks like this guy's battling both him and him. But that's nice. I can see that. Actually, what would be even really cool is if I highlight some dudes and draw a box around them, I should be able to see all of their healths on the bottom. That would be pretty epic. Overboard? Is that going overboard? No, that's kind of cool. Well, there's just a thing. It's like, in my opinion, and I know that some people don't feel this way, but in my opinion, when they started adding a lot of stats and data to like live sporting events, the football games, the basketball games, the baseball games, those stats people find uh, intriguing and interesting. It's a part of the experience as well. This works actually really well. I'm happy with this. It's it's useless. Okay, so here's a problem. If Capone's alive, oh, and he's dead, it goes away. Great, that works. Um, Normally this kind of runs and nobody's around, but if the creator is operating the game, like I'm operating this, hey Kratos, then it's helpful to click on things and be able to do things. So this is my first example of being the operator and interacting with the game world live. Um, I want, there's a whole lot of other stuff that we want to be able to do, like spawn things in and drop food, all that kind of stuff. That could be really exciting. I'll have the audience vote to do that kind of stuff. So we did. Okay, these are all heroes out of the database. So we did. I freeze. It looks like I brain freeze. That must look really funny. This is working correctly. I added a new feature, I guess. Hero info UI. So we'll just put that here. I still don't know if the hero's data was saved. So let's go take a look. This was a bug yesterday. I was having a lot of different troubles with the music yesterday, and it's still a problem. Initialize with reward script. Game state set to ended. Data results. Player rankings, validation, player killed, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so I'm just going to ask it. There were lots of extra copies of things yesterday with like battle results and stuff like that. And we got the battle sorted out. So here, um, I now see all the battles that started and they complete, etc. And that's great because I know who launched it, what the theme was, all that kind of stuff. And it's going to be very helpful for me once I enable different people to launch the games, because you have to be logged in as a user to launch. So we'll be able to have prize pools and points that are separate by like community, if you will. So I could say all the games that were launched by player one, that's part of the blah 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 community, like the Hood Wars community, for example. And I know they can do their own contests and stuff. But excuse me, the hero battles wasn't working, so that meant it's still not. I could see here. Last time it worked was a few days ago. Let's see what this question is here. Um, yeah, why not? Daughter's filling out college applications. Well, starting the process anyway. Okay, looking for hero battles. Okay, so now I'm going to ask it. So this has three different modes. I use them all. Ask is when agent will just do whatever. It'll do anything. It'll just keep on going, do stuff. It has agency. Ask is when you want it to ask a question and have it go look but not do anything. That can be very, very useful. And then plan is like a combination of both where you work together to make a plan. Usually it's when you want to add a complicated feature and you have a bunch of different requirements to that feature, and then you make a plan. Then you can revise it when you're happy with it. You say build, then it makes checklists and does all that stuff. I use that one a lot. I love it. But for this one, I want to ask. I see no hero battles are being recorded yet, but battles are being started and finished. And I'm going to give it a little bit of help. This battle simulator, pre-battle scene, battle recorder. So I think I'll keep these files up. These are all the files that have to do with battles. And finished. I would like hero battles to be also saved in a database. I think we have endpoints for everything for that table, but it's not being used yet. So go take a look. Go look. And now I'm also going to look and see what's the total context being used. Actually, I'm going to make this a new chat, so I can have to start with a fresh context. Context is what's it going to think about while it's looking at this stuff. Hey, little buddy. Hi, how are you? My little kitty. Okay. He doesn't often want attention, but when he does, he needs it for like a second. I wish women were like that. Health stamina man. Oh no, I gave it agency. I don't want to do that. I just want to ask it. I did ask it. I don't want to have agency. It'll start doing stuff. That could be very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So while it's looking, I'm going to take a look at my to-dos for today. Um, this is still going. Um, only show 20 players on reward screen. No, I'll do the top 10. Top 10. Otherwise, it'll be a long time to watch. So that stuff we'll do today. This is a stretch goal for today, but this one's important. As sooner as I can actually get this one going, the better. As you get a hero made for them, I have a whole kind of process defined. Worked through it last night because I don't want to have people. I want zero friction. When you make a game, you want zero friction. Your user sign up is got to be fast. For this game, I want people to play just by typing join in the chat. I want to create a user, create a hero, find their wallet, add their nickname, and join them into the battle all at once. If they then want to go sign into the website and they're using that same wallet address, well, guess what? Their hero will be there. They can change the stats, whatever. We also have to add name changes too. I'll add that in here. Allow player name, hero name change. Want them to just join right in. If they're on TikTok, want them to be able to join right in, etc. That's important for user adoption. Every time somebody does that, plus one user, plus one user, plus one user. And this is all about shots that you take. Okay, if we get one streamer to use this, and he's got 100 people or 1,000 people. I remember once I was one of on Stone Mountain 64 streams. He had like 40,000 people there. Hello, spammer. Imagine that many. Imagine a tenth of those people typed join. It'd be pretty epic. And we want to keep taking shots, for these people in their audiences. Okay, so this is in the lobby. Joining the middle of battle. I have a bunch of different stuff that's up next to fix that I just kind of have to get through. Add random delay for attack. This is one of those nice to have things. I'll put it near the top of the list, but I'm not going to work on it today. This I want to fix just because it's a bug. This is not fixed. This is not fixed. I'd love to have this working. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to it for release. I'd really love to. I'm going to put it up here. I hate to do it, but I'm going to put it up there. You see the upcoming prize pools. This is also with stretch goals. Again, this is something for the viewers to see. What's coming up next? Is there a special prize pool coming up later today or later on in the week? Add token benefits. Pick a chain to find benefits in terms of hero perks. This is something I need to do. Not necessary for release. Oh, that's hard. I'm going to mark that as cool, though. That's something that cool drive revenue and drive growth, but it's not something I need to have for release. This is something that is going to be needed. Has nothing. Oh, does it have to do with the token? Yeah, because if we have inventory items, we have people that can buy. This is going to be good for growth and more labels. That's good. And good for token as well. Add random delay for attack. That's just a bug. I'm going to call that a bug. That's just a visual thing. So people aren't surging all at the same time. Only show top 10 players on rewards screen. Record battlefield ID. Am I not doing this yet? I have to figure out what that bug was. Hero battles. I do not have the battlefield ID yet. That's not good. Okay, so that's what that means. In the battle tracking, I don't have battlefield ID. So let's do that now. That's an easy one to fix. Battlefield ID. And that'll be integer. And it will be default 1. Actually, default 0. Battlefields are going to be owned by people, and there could be multiple owners of the same piece of art. Okay, that's okay. So we want to add it into hero battles and battle ID. I don't need it here, do I? I could look up the battle. So almost got me. Need to normalize this data. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Oh, interesting. I don't know if we want to join them into battle, though. Because then we have to go... They can't really... Okay. Insert this battle after verifying the battle exists. Do I need to know when they joined? Not really. That's an example of... Actually, maybe, because there could be some match types where people join in the middle of it. I don't have any of those right now, but could be. Okay, let's do it then. Let's do a plan. Let's modify the logic such that 1, battlefield ID is being set. So battlefield ID is being set. Let's modify things up a bit. Battlefield ID, and then I have theme battlefields, which have these IDs as well. They don't have owners. Okay, so we're going to make a plan. Let's modify the logic so that battlefield ID is being set in the battle, and each one corresponds to a... now this goes back to the question that Van asked earlier, which is on stream. Can I make a battlefield? It's like, yeah, but those wouldn't be theme battlefields. Those would be custom battlefields. So where do I get the ID from? Do I add them all to the default? Maybe. Why not? It'll be custom 1 or something like that. And then the owners of it. I'm gonna have to change this afterwards to join the battlefields with an owners list for people who bought something. I think it's because those will end up being NFTs, so that's probably be on-chain data. Okay, so battle bodies being set in the battle, each one corresponds to a theme battlefield, and we know it in the free battle. Do you know what I'm talking about, people? Do you know? This is a scene. Here is pre-battle scene, in the pre-battle scene. Battlefield, let's, okay, could be set. I don't want to be confuse it by saying it is, should be set. And the battles table corresponding to the current theme battlefield ID. I think it's just ID, or is it battlefield ID? Theme battlefields ID. Theme battlefields. And we know it in pre-battle scene. So that's the first thing. We need to add that battlefield ID so that we can find out who was on the battlefield. That way I can tell you your battlefield was used this many times, blah, 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 blah. 2, when a player joins, and it's when a player is spawned for the first time, because it could be that they get spawned multiple times, so you have to be specific. For the first time, add them to the add a row to the hero battles table. 3, when the match is over, update the. It's a lot of data flying around, so we could probably do that in a batch transaction. Update the hero battles table rows created in the step above. Only do this for joined or supplemented players, not for complete randomized AI players. Okay, we only want to record stats for heroes someone owns. Okay, I think that's clear. What is its suggestions? Only increase the battle later calls record hero stats. Five, do this on the server. I mean, it'll probably ask me if it's confused. And then look at proposed edits. I found key places, blah, 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 blah. 2 ways to fix it. A, if there's no row yet, though there should be, find the row with battle ID or throw an error. We don't want the server to throw errors. That's kind of pointless. But it stops people from calling APIs. Try to get existing participation. Find the hero battles. Okay. Okay, this is for a particular hero. Look up hero to get the user ID. Find the season, all that baloney. Update the data, final position, eliminations. XP earned, that's something we need to add too. We're not truly earning XP that's being saved. I don't think we ever said how much XP people earn. add in a placeholder um, function for rewarding XP based on player level. And on player levels, eliminations, and level of opponent killed. Okay, I'm actually not going to say add a placeholder function. I'm just saying reward XP. Let's see what it does. Reward XP based on the player level eliminations and level of opponents killed. This should be used also in the reward screen. Aha. Reward XP. I like that. This is something we need to have done. And we put it in a plan. It's going to be very specific and kind of like go over everything, propose some edits. So client called join before recording. When you attach a hero to a player, this ensures the server has a participation row. Proposed edit inside after its effects are applied. It wants to do this one. When though? When do you want to do this? And record hero stat. Okay, after I give it further requirements, I'll see if it was come back to me. Joining will only succeed for heroes owned by the logged in user. Correct. That's fine. You record stats for your own hero while others will be skipped. No. No. That's not correct. When I said logged in user, I meant for the user running the game. It could be on a how to explain this. We will record joins and results for all heroes, regardless of who is running the game and who the JWT token belongs to. We don't need to verify ownership of the user/heroes when recording battle stats or hero stats, as anyone could have anyone else's heroes in their game. I hope it understands. I think that was one of the problems that it was doing, is that it was trying to verify ownership of a hero before it wrote it out to the database. That's going to fail all the time because I don't own all the heroes that are showing up in the games. They're owned by other people. All right, let's see what it says. It's come back, and it'll have this new data and come back with some revised logic. Okay, in full nerd voice, quickly scan the schema and servers to verify if there's a battle at fields. I added it, bro. I added it. I added that battlefield ID column. Oops. Spelled it wrong. That was embarrassing. Well, I know English. Trust me. Yeah, if you join the stream and you're kind of watching, we're fixing data. We're fixing data for the SoulWars game because the heroes that came through don't have their stats being recorded. We're recording the battles correctly when they start, when they end, how many people are there, etc. But we're not recording the individual hero stats, which we should be. Actually, in battles, I wonder, are we recording the AI? Yeah, we should be, because if we have AI players, it's going to be max heroes. I should keep track of joined heroes as well. Um, let's keep track of that actually. Alter table, joined. Because people might join in afterwards, right? So total players. Oh, that's theme battlefields. We don't want that. This is battles that we want. Battles, I said. Here it is. Config, mode, max players, 8. We'll add this later. I basically I keep forgetting to update my schema. All right, let's see if it has any questions. Record. Okay, this is the plan. Battles include battlefield ID. We don't need to make a new script for it to accept battlefield ID. Okay. Update server to create battlefield to store battlefield ID. Perfect. It does validate that it exists. Join on first spawn. Let's just make sure that it has access to database documents for that. Probably doesn't. I tried to keep it updated. I tried. It doesn't. That's fine. Join on first spawn. No ownership enforcement. Join on first spawn. No ownership enforcement. Correct. Change battlefield service to remove the ownership check. That's right. Just ensure the hero exists. Good. Signature. A dedupe if already joined. Yeah. Update route to stop using hero ownership. Good. Keep verified JWT for rate limiting only. Well, clarification. We do need the JWT verification on the battle service calls, battle API calls, because certain users have the entitlement. What's the entitlement called? Game access. And if they have that entitlement, they can run the game and also make calls to the API. To the API. I own to the Battles API. I only wanted to remove the hero owner verification on those API endpoints. But it can add the entitlement check. I think that's probably important. What else is a note here? Record results at match end. Yes. Keep record hero stats. Yes. Add upsert fallback. And upsert is update or insert. XP calculation. Level differentiation. Placement bonus. Good. Participation. Oh yeah. We want people who joined manually. XP. People who joined manually could always get more XP. I think it's doing that. Should always get more XP. More XP. Let's do double. Double XP for now. What else is here? Sum and clamp to non-negative. Yes, you don't want to have negative XP. A frequent exploit is doing negative costs or negative XP. Update heroes level and update heroes XP earned. Yep. Make post. Oh yeah, that's good. XP earned. Yes. Make post respond with XP earned to rewards UI can display same value. Oh, good. That's good. That's very thoughtful. Client changes. Provide Battlefield ID. In client source game include Battlefield ID. Yes. Insert heroes battle roll if hero first spawns. Yes. Players with a real hero. Yes. That's going to also include auto-created heroes. That should work. Update results at match end. Yes. Yes. Server XP. Perfect. I mean, even though I don't expect there to be a lot of cheating because we don't have people running multiplayer stuff, there will still be people, who try and cheat and give their heroes more XP and stuff like that. And that's something that I could just take out for an entitlement, like allow XP. I could do that. That would be interesting. So an entitlement that allows those heroes to gain XP. I'm going to add that into the roadmap. Entitlement, which enables a game operator to make calls which grant XP. So you got to think about XP as a finite resource. It's all well and good to give out tons and tons of XP, right? People like XP; they like leveling up, etc. But if you're playing like in a global theater, and you have like one person over here giving out like 10 times XP, and then servers over here, that creates a weird kind of like incentive to do weird things. I don't want to have that kind of mechanic or opportunity for arbitrage for XP or whatever, especially if we tie things to like the minute we do it for like you get this much XP, you'll be entered into a prize pool. You're gonna have people cheating, doing weird stuff, anything they can, because there's a lot of extractors out there who will spend a lot of time going after free money or writing AI to do it. You have to keep aware of that more and more as time goes on. Shadow, that's something I'm fixing right now. I'm literally fixing that right now. First of all, they weren't all being created appropriately. Your stats, if you updated with earned XP, let me go find you in the database. Actually, I got to find people who. I'm gonna try and find you. Have heroes. So your ID 416. Let's find you. You have one character named Shadow, and you need some XP so that you can upgrade your stats. None of the automatic XP has been going out. So I'm basically finding people who I know have joined and played and granting them some XP. I'm going to go do that right now for you. So let's go to admin, heroes, shadow. Here you are, and we're going to give you XP. I'm going to take a look at how much I gave the other guys last night. Total XP, 10 million. A little bit of 10 million XP to try that out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know you've been playing. All right, so now you'll be able to upgrade your stats. They weren't coming into the game until like a minute ago, and I actually haven't published that to the main website yet. Right now, I'm having it write a large plan to record all the battle stats, so that you get XP. We hadn't been doing that manually, so I mean, hopefully tonight you'll start getting XP every time you show up in a battle. All right, I think this is good. I'm going to update the plan and then run it and test it. Right now, the only hero that has stats in it ran for like once is this hero, which is probably one of mine, and that's why in this database I only see probably one hero in the leaderboards. Yeah, Nimble Yak. He's the only person who's got any wins or anything like that. Yeah, well, hopefully that'll get fixed today, and more will start getting added. Okay, so I gave it a clarification. I think I gave it a note about the entitlement. Let me see. I'm going to make the entitlement now. Can award XP. Where is it? Not here. Not here. Here we go. Admin. Manage entitlements. Category game feature. Game feature is can award XP. So I was talking about this a second ago. You have to be careful about XP because if people start cranking out XP and you have people, you're expecting everybody to what's the word I'm looking for? Advance at a roughly equivalent level or on a level playing field. But you get some other server giving out 10 times XP, like just now, like during this pre-launch phase. I gave these guys, a few of them, like 10 million XP. That's a lot of XP. It takes you from level 1 to 49 or so in like one bump. Things can get out of whack pretty quickly. You'll have a bunch of maximum guys running around while everybody else is grinding. It's not fair. So basically, in order to eliminate that incentive, what I'll do is create an entitlement so that like if they want to award XP for their own like token group or something like that can be a thing. But for all of like global XP, that will be something that we can flag on or off. That way I can shut that off by default for people who are running the game. Because they could go and like get into the code or I don't know, run the game for just their character against 100 like mice, and like power level. You don't want to have that kind of stuff. That stinks. So basically, we'll have this entitlement that we can grant to people. If you launch the game and you've been given this entitlement, you can award XP. So I'm going to create it now. This entitlement gives the game operator the ability to reward XP during their matches. Otherwise, you can run your matches. You can give away if you set up your own token prize, your own prize pool. If you're doing NFTs or giving out tokens on Solana or Sui, whatever, that's all well and good. But you're not going to be giving out XP that goes into the whole like SoulWars pool, unless you've been enabled for that. Is the fair thing to do. That way you can keep things separate. Because I can see people wanting to have their own, like Hood Wars, for example, has their own custom theme. I can see him wanting to have his own people have their own levels, so they'll essentially have their own XP pools, which you're gonna have to develop a whole other thing for. But for now, in hero transactions, we have XP going in and out um, by battles. We'll just basically have to add something here. That'll help us keep track of XP per universe. I don't know. We don't really have a word for what that is. Per creator, per world, per theme. It's like a world. I could see people wanting to band together and make a theme and have other people be part of it. Like all of you guys can run these worlds. Like there are Minecraft streamers who used to run worlds together, and they all had their own audiences. That's a good use case for that. Like all you guys can run the what was it called? I don't know, slushy noobs theme, um, and each of you have the ability to reward XP, slushy noobs XP, whatever that might be. But it's not going to affect all the regular SoulWars heroes. Um, Now we have a way to do that by kind of keeping that separation in the beginning. Okay, so meanwhile, I have given AI this deal. Relaxed ownership checks and compute XP, blah, 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 blah. Now we're going to tell it to build. Let's first making sure that we have saved these things. What was this change? Player info panel. So I'm going to save this up to the repo first. So if this plan goes terrible, we at least have a clean save point to go back to. Commit. Obviously, giving XP and recording battle stats, because we're a data-based deal, super important. So got to get this out of the way today. That way I can do proper token rewards, right? All right, I just told it to build. Now it's going to go do its thing. We've been running this thing. Let's see. How long have we been running this? 2 hours and 25 minutes. We can run for another 2 hours and 25 minutes. It's kind of fun because I'm watching on SoulWars, on Twitch, on YouTube live. Your account is at greater risk. I don't have two-step verification. Okay. I think I'm live here. I am. I'm live on YouTube Live. And soon, through this, while it's running, I'm going to show you this stuff. Yes. So I'm going to actually go here, right? Grok. Hey, Grok. Grok is very, very handy to code with. I would like to use the Restream API to fetch incoming chat from any connected channel so I can process in my application. I want to know what the username is, the platform ID, if present, and the user ID on that platform if present. What's the easiest way? I'm going to look at the documentation to find out, but I basically want to be able to use Restream for me. I think other people will want to set it up as well for them to like have a sign in and have it pull in all the stuff, if that makes sense. I want any user who runs on my game platform to be able to take advantage of this service. A streamer who runs on my game platform to be able to take advantage of this service. So I'm concerned about API keys versus user sign-ins, etc. Okay, I'll just give them the link to the to the docs. Go. Why are you not going, bro? What? Okay, let's look. It's gonna look. Okay, so this we want rocket. No, we want. Wow, look at that. Grok 4 fast, custom models, expert. Let's do an expert. Deep search? I don't think we need deep search. And what's this? Oh. Oh no. Developer.restream.io. That's weird. It probably doesn't want to me to. Okay, while it's doing that, I'm going to go here and check this out. Okay, so this is curious. 7 remaining to-dos. I thought I told it to build. Okay, let's exit this. I thought I clicked build. I guess I didn't. Now I'm gonna. I thought I did. Sometimes it'll kick it back out, which is like, nope. All right, and now I'm gonna go check out my messages on X. Oh, somebody from a different chain wants me to go launch SoulWars on that chain. Oh, I'm familiar with the chain. It's not like it's a bad chain, but I just don't think they have a lot of liquidity over there. So for the work that's going to be, as soon as I integrate SWE stuff, and excuse me, once I have SWE's ICA integrated, I'll be able to add like whatever chain because they have really good technology for that. That's what it's for. You could basically use the Slush wallet, which is a SWE wallet, similar to Phantom, but much cooler, to create wallets on whatever chain you want. That way, you can have all the transactions authorized to that one wallet through whatever chain. It's a brilliant service, and that enables a lot of different things for us. It enables to have cross chain token support, NFT collection support, etc. But if I was to go through the work of integrating a separate chain, like it's a lot of extra things to worry about. Wallet integration, um, transaction support, monitoring the blockchain for the transactions that come in. Those are usually expensive services that you got to pay for. And I've done this before with an NFT service I had called Scribe. And every little data service you have to then keep track of it. And it's like they make breaking changes and you're constantly updating your code base because then people will come and be like, oh, like it stopped working over here on whatever chain. And it's like, oh, it's a pain in the butt. So I'm just going to wait for my ICA integration to be complete, which is, I mean, I'm going to do it. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be doing stuff on other chains. I like Solana, I like SWE, and the less code that I have to do to support those, honestly, the better because I have a small team. What? All right, it's running through its plan. While it's running through its plan, I'm going to go and look at the Grok deal and see what it's thinking of. Okay, the Restream API uses OAuth 2 authentication. So you have to create an application in the Restream API to create a optional client ID. Oh, there are no global API keys. Each user has to sign in. This generates an access token which expires after an hour, tied to their profile. So, in order to have multiple streamers, I'd have to generate a unique authorization URL for each one have them log in and get a token. I've done that before. That's not a real problem. Fetch incoming data chat in real time. Okay. Platform ID, username ID, message content. Okay, I've already done some of this, but let's go check out the API documentation. So this gave me one thing. Now let's go check out what it actually means. For those interested in developing third-party applications, we need to perform the following steps. Send the user. Okay, so this is essentially saying the same thing. We have to send the user to log in, capture a response code, exchange that for token pair. That's standard OAuth behavior. Revoke tokens, etc. So I just have them log in with Restream, which is a really cool functionality. It costs money. Oh, excuse me. It costs money, but it is really, really valuable. This endpoint will render a view. Actually, while I'm coding, I'm actually going to send a note over to my son and say to him, okay, would you be willing to cook us some hamburgers tonight? Or are you already done eating? In terms of permissions, I only want to listen for chat. Here it is, I think. Retrieve a user's chat URL. And what does that give us? Man, I am itchy. Must be getting hot in here. Oh, here we go. That API allows you to connect to Restream chat and retrieve all actions. Events collected from all sources. That's perfect. That's exactly what I need. Right now, I'm only connecting to Pump Fun. And they support a lot. It just costs. I wonder how much the basic cost is while we're waiting for AI to finish here. It says it's done a lot. Oh, this is a new style. Yikes. Server edits. I'll implement the server updates, then wire the client to send honor join capture after you apply these edits. Wow. Keep existing loop block. Good. Okay, this one I mean. Normally, it would have applied the edits. Okay. These apply the edits. As a cost-saving measure. Is it going to do it? It's ChatGPT 5. They're probably going to charge me for that one. For like $10. Okay, it's doing it. Okay. What was I looking at? I wanted to go find out how much Restream cost. Okay, so looking at Restream, go here. Restream.io, official site. It's a great service. I know a lot of streamers probably already have this. Okay, it doesn't tell you the pricing unless I were to log out. I don't want to do that. Special offer. If you look at it monthly, so I think I'm doing this one, which is $49 a month. Um, Pre-recorded streaming, video slots, local 5 channels at once, 8 channels at once. Okay, so this is the one I'm on right now, the $50 one. It's an awesome service. And now, if you're using this kind of a thing, and once I have the store open and potions available and the ability to do side betting with prediction markets, it's basically going to be a 24/7 money printer. Is my feeling. So $50 a month to be able to stream it onto as many eyeballs as possible. That's the no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. Okay, so chat will connect to the URL. Fine. And then on message, that's it. Oh, wait. From the server to the client. The server will ignore any incoming messages. That's not what I want. I want it the other way around. This is great. So basically, it will interact with all of these services. Read. This is what I want. I want the reads. It will do Discords too. Ooh. Oh, I'm gonna go try that right now. Let's go try that. Can I? Let's see how many channels I have active. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's probably not gonna let me do another one, but let's go find out. So itchy. Discord, Telegram. That would be cool. I don't see Discord here. Am I just missing it? How can you stream to Discord through this? This is kind of cool though. Telegram? I'm gonna try. Oh, I bet I haven't been to the Discord in hours. I have a ton of messages. Um, a lot of volume running through the chart today. All right, I guess I'll try this later, but I want to add Telegram and Discord because of these little battles where you're doing with your crowd, your crew, and you're not on Twitch or whatever. Yeah, we want to be able to do it through Discord, of course. I've done a ton of stuff through Discord, but we should be able to get all the chat messages that come in through here. So how do we know about the ones that are active when a game is active? That's the trick, because we don't want to just constantly be listening to somebody's channel. Like, that's a poor use of resources. And if we have 1,000 people using the service, I could imagine the network would just be like, yeah, get out. So we want to make sure that we're only listening while a game is active, while they're running a game, which is important. So I can actually close the network connections then. I don't need to send out messages from the server, although I could say things like ready to join now or whatever. But it looks like I have very simple code base. Let's try it. Let's do a simple code example. This is exciting. When I have this running, then people will be able to join from wherever. And like, look, like this is running on YouTube right now, for example, right? If you saw a big giant thing that said type join in the chat as you're perusing through channels, and you like earn rewards, type join in the chat. Yeah, I'm going to type in join, and then bam, they're there. I'll put a little YouTube icon next to them so we know where they came from. track the data so we know where our incoming data is coming from, and then we'll know where we're getting users from. This is user acquisition, Web3 user acquisition, and I'm going to make sure I add that as a feature. Add icon for incoming service. The other way for somebody to join is not going to be by joining via chat. It's going to be typing, going to this website that we have on the homepage and entering in a join code. So that will be, if they want a separate, more advanced interface than just typing chat or whatever, to have buttons and all that kind of stuff where they could spend money and do cool stuff inside the match live, like that's what they will do that through this. And notice how the back of the screen went away. Connection refused. No, this is it. Network calls. The AWS is still, actually these are streaming things. AWS is still having a poor time today. Oh, or maybe my server's not running. Look at me, I was trying to blame AWS. Not very cool. Okay, now let's take a look and see all the stuff that it did. I updated the server to acquire game access, blah, 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 blah. Did a whole bunch of stuff. The plan was solid. Let's trust the plan. Store battlefield ID on battle creation invalidated. Well, let's check and see if that worked. And then we can take a break and go have dinner and stuff like that. Run dev. So we'll run this thing. Hopefully it compiles without any issues. We're good here. Login token. So I'm logged in as my own user. Yes, I am. And we'll go ahead and check out and see. So first of all, let me open up my console, my little debug console, so I can look at all these little messages coming through. I'll move that off to the side. I'll go launch a game. I'm going to get the Pump Fun chat ID. Doom, I'm telling you, man, I don't know. I giggle when I think about, I think I've been communicating the vision, but I guess not. My copy and paste is busted. That's a bad sign. Tell me that somebody's hooking into my clipboard or something. Not cool. So I got to make sure I'm careful about any passwords I get. I see. That's a bad sign. I noticed it a few minutes ago. What, did I run anything? I ran Restream. Let's refresh this. Copied to clipboard. Okay. It's not on the clipboard. That's so strange. Let's do it this way. I have to go to the advanced training view. And I'm going to go check out the copied to clipboard here. It makes you wonder, what do I have active? React Developer Tools, MetaMask, Sui Wallet. Don't really need that one. I'm going to shut it down. Slush is good. It does bother me that I can't access my clipboard. I'm probably going to need to restart my computer. Well, the idea of this was to test the joining. Maybe you guys can join. I don't know. Wait. No, because I can't connect to the chat window, so it doesn't really matter. Doom, you're the best. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start the game and just hope that, because I can't connect to the thing. I'll try one more time. Can I type in here at all? I can type there. So why can't I get this into my clipboard? Address copied to clipboard. Can I put it here into just a file? No. My clipboard is being dumped. I'm gonna have to like restart my computer. I'm gonna go here, open this page up. I want to see the full. I want to see the full transaction stuff. I'm gonna try and get to it from some other place. SoulWars. Give me the full deal. Token address. Copy address. Doesn't like it. I can't see the full token address. I should be able to see it actually at the top of the screen. Copy. No, something's hooked into my clipboard. All right, so I'm just going to be careful and then restart my computer in a minute and make sure that's not cool. So we're going to resume and we're going to start this. It should pull in heroes even if they're joined or not. And we should see the data that gets pulled in and see that they're joined. Built hero map, fetching available heroes, building teams. I don't know if I think, oh yeah, failed to create battle. Here we go. Game Manager JS 111. Okay, so now we have something. Okay, it's a battle launched by user ID, incorrect enter developed HR battlefield ID. Okay, so it did not have the correct battlefield ID at row 1, and that's okay, because that was not the battlefield ID. So let's make this change to it. So creating battle from users, battlefield ID, creating battle from users. So let's see if this does. If this also doesn't do my clipboard, I'm not gonna look. It did. It's just not. It's something is hooked into my clipboard from the web browser. So not cool. Creating battle from user. Battlefield ID should be here. And I do not think it was. One of the things I think they're going to do right after launch to get a little bit of attention is do a massive boss battle where we have a prize attached to that. And it'll be a battle that spans. Maybe it takes an hour because it's a dragon. And people can come in with their heroes. If they die, they'll probably be able to respawn or use potions, etc. So we'll create opportunities there to have a lot of tokens sink for a lot of people who've spent a lot of bought a lot of token but have nothing to do with it yet. And then in exchange, we'll reward a token. There'll be a dragon horde. So we're going to do several different kinds of these boss battles, which will be very easy for me to implement. Tonight I'm doing the token rewards, provided I get this stuff done. But that'll be one way, is to immediately do some large-scale battles, or at least the opponents are going to drop loot and drop tokens right away. But they're going to be tough. So like I said, if you have tokens, you'll be able to use them to increase your chances of stuff. Okay, battle from user. So let's fix this right away. 6:42. So I'm going to try and finish this up and get the battle recording within the next 20 minutes. Let's see if I can make that happen. So I can take a break and go make dinner for the kids and stuff like that. Okay, so I can put that over there. Launch. We'll see pretty quickly if it was able to do the stuff. Failed to create battle. So creating battle with theme. I want to see a battlefield ID is what we're looking for. Let's see where we put that. Creating battle from user. Did it show up at all? All these promises. So this did not get called. Is this being used? find out where this was. Error creating battle. Could have been here or could have been here. Oh, it shows on the server, not on the client. Okay, that's fine. Battlefield ID says HR Castle ID. That wasn't the Battlefield ID. That was the this ID. HR high res. All right, I'm gonna tell it. No, no. All right, I'm gonna tell it what this table looks like. So in the create battle called, we should also be using the integer theme battlefield ID, not the string version. And why would it do that? Because that was the battlefield underscore ID. Simple mistake to make, really. Battlefield. Okay. Then it's going to say, oh, silly me. But let's find out where it was called. Let's see where it should be making the change and see if we can get there first. Async create battle. And a static function can be called from anywhere. So let's use that full thing. So could be here, could be here. This was on the server. So this is on the server, that's on the server. It's right here. Client source, battlefield ID. And this was passed in from the post of battles post. Yeesh, tracking this down is crazy. Okay, I found it before I did. No, no, that's not what you should have done. That's kind of like the lazy way out. No, 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 no. No, that's okay. I think that's all right. Let's provide either identifier or both. Well, we'll find out pretty quickly if that worked or not. It looked like it took the fast way out, but we'll see. This is definitely an example of one thing that I could have fixed faster myself. Okay, it looks like it created the battle, so let's go ahead and check that out. Okay, this is in battles. That just started, correct. So that's the battlefield ID of 102. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. But are we saving the players yet? Let's just watch them fight to the end, I guess. Fight to the end. We're gonna let it go and see if any of the heroes have their stats created. That's all I want. I want hero stats so we can give them XP. just to make sure there are no new ones in here. No new ones in here. Look at Spicy Ferret up here, just walking off by himself, being so spicy. And now I can see everybody's health, so I'm going to go click on Renkai. Renkai. I really got to fix this camera so I can zoom wherever I want. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Spicy Ferret has got a low speed score, and he is so slow. Some of these other heroes are much faster. Watch what happens. Because now it's using the proper stats, so now it's using the proper quickness and speed and stuff. I don't think Spicy Ferret is one of mine. Oh, he's hurting. You know, Renkai, let's see if there's any health here. I don't see health. There's a little health. You can't see it. It's a little teeny tiny little dot. The food icons are not spawning in right now. It's a recent change, not on purpose, a bug. Spicy Ferret's going to have this one. Renkai. Yeah, I think I want to be able to highlight both of them so you can see both of their stats, kind of like final matchup. Oh, that would be awesome. Okay, so it finished. Now, did it save anything? That's the victory screen. Win condition check. Victory scene results. Battle results. I don't see anything saving the player. Oh, here's one. Finished. Headers. Payload. Nope, that wasn't the payload. No, we didn't save the hero stats again. Okay, so I'm gonna have to put on my surgery gloves after dinner and fix that. So we're still not saving the hero data after a couple hours of doing other stuff. I'm gonna give it its console so it can see what happened. Transition to victory screen, all this stuff. Battle finished, battle finished. Here's the battle results. The battle finished. I'm going to let it think while I go. Finished, but the player hero results were still not saved. Please add debugging so we can see what's going on. Just looking at the server logs real quick. Creating battle from user, battle finished. Oh, that's right. I can't copy paste. All right, so not only am I going to end the stream, but I'm actually going to reboot my computer. Guys, I will see you later. What's up, Rodbos and Bradley? I'm going to finish my stream right now, go have dinner, and come back after I reboot my computer.